so proudly we held.
We have a host of speakers that I'm going to introduce, but I also want to say the privilege it is to honor someone as Don. You know, it takes a lot to be named, to have a street named after you. It means that you've made an impact on people's lives, on the community. From the stories I heard, his home was right here. It's an impact that's ever going to last, looking over the house that he lived in. It's something that we can all admire and remember. You know, it's people like Sergeant Donald Tinney that made me want to join the service. The spirit, the dedication, the service, the commitment, and the leadership. It is truly my honor to take part in this ceremony today. And we owe him a great debt that we can never repay, except to never forget.
Great to see so many of our alumni here and others here. I'm very grateful to be here representing Monsignor Farrell High School to honor one of our alumni heroes, Don Tinney. Monsignor Farrell High School, for those who aren't Farrell alum may not know, the motto is Vir Fidelis, faithful man. And the mission of the school is to develop faithful men to serve their God, their families, and community. There's no greater example of serving others than making the ultimate sacrifice like Don did to protect his fellow man. Our students recognize that. They understand it and they see it every day as they walk through our lobby, and they honor and reflect on our alumni heroes like Don, who are recognized in our Wall of Valor for the sacrifices that they made for others. And it is a wonderful thing to see this here today, to be done in his community, and for the community of Staten Island to be able to honor and recognize what he has done for others and how he lived his life. Again, thank you very much for having us here, and we are very, very honored to be part of recognizing Don Tinney today. Thank you.
Who was Rick Soma? He was a manager when Don Tinney was a football player, and Don is one of three to have been on the team all 4 years. And what do managers do? They do things when the players ask for something. And the first thing I think about when I think of Don is that he was so self-assured. He was as tough as you could imagine, and very fierce on the field, even if it was practice. And I remember the first time he came up to me, he needed something, and I was a little intimidated. And the first thing I remember from that exchange that I had with him is that the fierceness melted right away, and he was so polite and even said thank you. I'll always remember him. And of course, later on, we became good friends. And Don Tinney was such a great man. Thank you.
Don was one of my best friends. It's entirely appropriate that this area of Main Street be dedicated to Don's memory. He lived at 72 Main Street, which is the second house up here on the right-hand side. He climbed these stairs thousands of times to catch the train to go back and forth to Farrell and to other locations on Staten Island and up to the city. Where these townhouses are built right now, at one time there was a 2 or 3 story red brick building there. And we took chalk, of course we did what all kids do in the city. You make a strike zone out of chalk and you play stickball in the street. And we did that many times. And back then there wasn't much traffic on this part of the street, so it wasn't a problem. They was the same age as our grandfathers and knew everyone and everything about Tottenville. Tragically, Don was just about 2 months from finishing his 1-year tour in Vietnam when he was wounded, and he died about a week later. I often wonder how our lives might have been different if he had made it home. We continue to miss you, Don, and we'll always remember the good times we had together. Thank you.
He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine every time I hear his name. Lord, I can't help from keep crying because he was a friend of mine. I am honored to think that have Don as my friend. So I believe there are so many others. Despite the passing of over 50 years, I still can't keep from crying when I hear his name. I know that there are many of us who will feel that way when we pass this street sign. Life may have been moved on, but Don is still with us. Don is a friend of ours.
So anyway, as far as like talking about him as being, you know, we were the little sisters and the football team was like just like amazing. We were like in awe of them. And it was Farrell was a new school. It was the first football team. And they really, I'm not going to use those words, but they kicked butt and they were really undefeated, great players.
I am also a Farrell graduate. In fact, there were many who predicted I wouldn't graduate, but thanks to Rick Soma's math tutoring, I got through. We speak about his life here in Tottenville, his accomplishments at Farrell, but he was a true American hero, a true American warrior, and if I may, at approximately 8:30 in the morning on April 2nd, 1970, Specialist 4th Class Tinney and 14 other Fox men were helicoptered into Tinney Province, a known Viet Cong stronghold. They immediately found themselves under a withering machine gun attack. They beat back the assault with hand grenades, but not before Tinney was hit. He was immediately evacuated to a field hospital at Long Bin, where he died of his injuries 12 days later on April 14th. For his heroic actions that day in repelling a superior enemy force, Donald Tinney was awarded the Silver Star, a Bronze Star for Merit, and a Purple Heart. He was posthumously promoted to sergeant. As we all know, Don was only 20 years old. What a great American hero. Say, who's Donald Tinney? Why is the street named after him? And they'll hear of this neighborhood, as it were, of a life as it was well lived. It'll be an inspiration. But also for all of us, this should be a happy moment to remember someone who was part of your lives or someone an inspiration to our lives, and to smile and take comfort in the fact that we had the privilege and honor to know Don Tinney or to be inspired by Donald Tinney. I thank you for allowing me to be here. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
I was 6 years old when Mike started high school. War is hell. This family knows war is hell. And we also know that Staten Island is a very special place. And next week is probably the most solemn week in our country as far as I'm concerned. Because without this sacrifice and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice so that we can be free, we wouldn't be anything. So my family, says thank you to your family.
Whatever sacrifices myself, the borough president, the district attorney, the political life is nothing compared to the sacrifice that Donald made for us so we could live our life free. So with that being said, thank you so much for being here, and I just want to look up and tell Donald thank you for the sacrifice that you have made so we can live free. God bless him. Thank you.
Well, one time or another, he saved all of us.
That is funny.
So yeah, we only sold the house a year ago.
Sergeant at Arms for Rolling Thunder, Chapter 2 here on Staten Island, and I'm here as a veteran also.
So this is a great birthday present to him in heaven and to his family.
I'm gonna do a 1, 2, 3. Everybody ready? Ready? You guys ready?
1, 2, 3.